seen it here, you realize that it almost plays out just like it should in Hollywood. What's it been like for you putting this movie together, the process of putting it together?
I mean, it was just a constant stage of evolution. I mean, I first convinced Coach to let me come to one practice for a 10-minute project, and I just showed up the next day too, and Coach didn't tell me to leave. He didn't say come back, but he didn't say get out of here. So I kept coming back, and then next thing you know, I'd walk in the locker room or get on the bus. Next thing you know, I know it sounds kind of creepy. I'm walking in the locker room with a camera. I just observed, and I felt like what these boys were doing on the court was so special. What they were doing off the court as friends, and the relationships they had was really special. And I thought it broke a lot of stereotypes, as far as male bonding goes and things like that. And I thought that was worth pursuing. And so I finished the class project. I got a B+, and that's an honorable grade. I don't think we should make fun of people, but I ended up graduating, and I just wanted to keep going after. And Coach and the players, everyone was so supportive of me. 3 years goes by, 4 years goes by, they're not asking me where's it at, why isn't it done yet. They were very supportive. If I said, hey, I need to come back and do an interview, or I need a picture of you when you're younger, they'd go dig it up. And it's 7 years went by. If I didn't have that kind of support from these players and their families, that's honestly the reason we're here, is because of that. So yeah, there were some hardships, and it wasn't the easiest thing to do, but making a film and making a documentary in general is a difficult task. But when you have the support of the people involved like I did, I don't know, I guess 7.5 years didn't seem like it was that long.
Yeah, I don't think they knew Chris's name until maybe 3 years after.
His name was Cameraman. Cameraman, what's going on?
Cameraman coming, Coach Drew? Yeah, okay, yeah.
I've seen their cell phones. My name's in their phone as Cameraman. I don't even know. I think I don't know, probably 2 years ago, yeah, I started introducing myself as Chris.
Well, the one thing that I loved about the film was that you captured the true dynamics of the emotions of the players, whether it was the Fab Four, as it originally was, LeBron, Sion, Drew, and Willie. But then the controversy that kind of existed with Romeo Travis, who was kind of the outsider. What was it like documenting that? And then LeBron, how did you allow him to come into your group? Because that's ultimately what made you guys successful.
Well, from the film side, films are driven by conflict. And so there were so many things in the film that were just naturally conflicting. In a lot of ways, part of my job was easy. The fact that Rome wasn't necessarily always getting involved with those guys, and it just added an interesting character, especially because you've got four guys that play together since they were fourth grade, and you've got this other guy that comes in as a sophomore in high school, and he's not part of the group right away, and a lot of that was on him, which he admits later. And so from a film side, in a way, it was kind of cool to see this conflicts here, this interesting character, and the fact that all the guys were so expressive. It's not like any of them were quiet. I mean, if they had something to say, they'd say it. So when you're filming, it's great. Romeo's not going to sit in the corner and he'll go out and say, oh yeah, LeBron's this, or Drew's that. And, they'll give him stuff back. So from a filming perspective, it just made things much more interesting and easier to capture.
Well, I think what ultimately came down to was what happened in our junior year. I think if we would have ultimately won the state championship our junior year, we'd have probably just let Romeo be Romeo, and we would have tried to gear towards our senior and win another one. Our junior year really made us focus on a lot of things. We knew how important Romeo was going to be to our team. But in order to be important to our team, he had to be important to our brotherhood and to our friendship. So.
Well, a lot of people haven't seen that, so tell them what happened in junior year.
So what happened was our junior year, we had won back-to-back state championships our freshman and sophomore year. So our junior year, is when you turn 16, you start to get your license, you drive, and you really think you're becoming a man, and all this other crazy stuff. So you basically we just lost respect for the game of basketball. And I'm a big believer in karma now to this day because of what happened our junior year. We go the whole season, we win a lot of games, but we lost some games that we shouldn't have lost, some teams we shouldn't have lost to. And we get all the way to the state finals, and the morning, we play at 11 o'clock. The morning I wake up, I've been healthy all year. The morning I wake up for the state finals, I got the biggest back pains, back spasms I've ever had in my life. So I barely could walk. And our junior year, we ended up losing to a team that we had beat earlier in that season, to a team that there's no way should have beat us. So what happened was I used that as motivation. I used that as okay, how am I going to reset my mind to help our team get better, help my friendship get better with not only my friends but also with Coach Drew and the whole organization. So I thought it all started with Romeo, and Romeo wasn't close with us before then, but before the season started, going into the summer, I thought in order for us to, make this dream come true, which was ultimately winning the national championship, Romeo not only had to be a big part of our team, but he had to be a big part of our friendship. So, when you see the movie, you'll see how we transformed the Fab Four into the Fab Five, which we stole from the old in the 90s, the old Michigan team with Chris Webber and those guys.
Coach, you faced a dual challenge, obviously coaching an elite group of basketball players, but also you're coaching your son, which presents dynamics that most people don't understand, especially because a lot of parents, as is said in the movie, want to live their dream through their kid. Talk about your relationship with your son, both when he was playing and how it's grown since.
I guess Brian would really attest to this. When he was young, Drew was very, very strong-willed, and he was a very intelligent, great fundamental basketball player from a young age. And when I realized that he wanted to play basketball, not knowing, I put him in position to learn the game. And then when I started to coach, we butted heads a lot, and a lot of it came from me. Because, when you're a dad, you always hear the rumors. You hear, oh, he's only playing because Coach Drew's his dad. I didn't want that. I didn't want that for him. So, when Drew...
For people who don't know, he was 5'2".
Well, yeah, I'm talking way back in 4th grade, so he's probably about 4'6".
When he got to high school, he was 5'2".
Yeah, when he gets to high school, as a freshman, he's 5'2". But, we just butted heads because he was strong-willed, and I guess I'm a little strong-willed. If he made a mistake, it was 10 times worse than anyone else making a mistake. So, that's how I went at him. And honestly, Bron would have to, we'd ride home, and Bron would witness a lot of that because every practice on the way home was a critique, I critiqued Bron maybe a little bit, but I critiqued Drew a whole lot. So, and it honestly, it hurt our relationship because there was a time when we weren't father-son, it was all coach-player. And I had enough, I guess, sense to ask him one day, am I being too hard on him? And he told me yes. And from that point forward, there was a change, and then, like Bron said, us losing, that was my first year as the head coach, so I took it really hard. I thought that I had failed them, but it changed his way he responded to me, and all of them. They may have had a renewed commitment, and so the relationship changed. And today, Drew and I are very close. All the way through college, and while he was in college playing, I would be the first phone call he would have after the game, and all my games after my game, I would call him, and we confer. We talk a lot of basketball, but we still, our relationship has really grown from those tumultuous moments early.
It's something that it interests me specifically because I have 2 boys. They're obsessed with sports, and people always ask me, "Are you going to coach?" And I don't know if I want to coach, because I'm afraid to take those steps. And I think you have kids, so at some point you're going to have this dilemma. How do you separate it? And what missteps did you take that you would counsel other people not to take?
I guess first, to answer your first question, I would tell any parent to do it. I honestly believe that I had the best seat you could ever have to watch your son and to watch the rest of those guys perform at a level that, in high school basketball was almost unheard of. So yeah, I would say do it. I would, you know,